Hello, folks. My name is Joseph Sharon, and I'd like to speak to you about the Northern Sung Dynasty, Yaozhou Kiln, and the Cizhou Kiln. I want to talk to you about some of these wares that I have in my website here. They're very finely done, and many of them are more than likely tribute pieces that were given to the emperor at that time during the Northern Sung Dynasty. And I'm going to talk to you about the Yaozhou wares here first, like this Mei Peng vase. Let me pull it up here, give you a close up of it. But this has fire gilded bands, copper bands, and you can see the corrosion on there. It's uh, takes it's taken about 900 years to corrode like this. And the reason these fire gilded bands corrode the copper underneath the gilting, when they did the fire gilting process, uh, the gilting had actual pores in the gold. So when the copper uh, started to corrode back to its natural state, which takes a long, long time to develop it. But you can see the malachite, the cuprated malachite, and that would be the natural state of copper ore. And it would seep through these pores. I'm just going to show you some of these pieces close up, and you can see the green patina here. And then when I get down to the end, the last photo, I'll show you a microscopic photo of the patina close up. And this is it. This is called bitroid malachite formations. And that's what grows on these copper bands. Well, it comes through. It doesn't. It comes through from the copper and then goes through the pores, seeps out through the pores, and then develops into malachite formations, where the copper bands are corroding. So that's what it looks like close up, and they're like bubbles. And I'm going to take it down to a video clip that shows this company. His company authenticates bronze and copper and bronze ancient artifacts. And this is a small. It's only a minute, and it'll show you about the malachite for bitroid malachite patinas that occur on ancient artifacts. So here is, if you go here, you can click on this and go right to his website. And if you want to see the full video, you click on this and it'll pull up the video. It's in 3 different parts, and it's pretty long, but it's very educational. So I'm going to play this video.
This is the scale of it, right? Could you tell us what bubbles, right?
They look like bubbles. The technical term for them is botryoids, but that's one of the ways that malachite and azurite crystals can form is in these little spheres or globules. And I have not been able to find any evidence that this can be recreated in a lab. You see the small scale is 1 millimeter scale bar at the bottom. And so when I find these things, it's a good indication that this patina is something that took a long time to create, not something that was applied or created in the lab.
Yeah, fascinating. Oh, and this one?
Same thing in azurite. These little nodules.
The nodules, yes.
Sorry that I did not include a scale bar with that, but I would expect it to be very similar to the previous slide.
Yeah.
And when you find these things on the surface of your patina, again, it's a very good indicator.
This is the scale.
Okay. That's from a person that does this for a living as far as authenticating pieces. So I'm going to go down here and I'll show you a couple more of these Yaozhou wares. And these wares are very, very finely done. They have beautiful glaze on them, and they're carved. They're basically deeply carved. A lot of the Yaozhou wares, they're not as deeply carved as these wares. And that's why I believe they're tribute wares. And they are just magnificent. And you see the patina, and they have a gray biscuit that turns brown after firing, and it looks like they drip some glaze on the base of it, and this is very typical during that period. And there's a close-up of the fire gilded band on that particular piece. We'll move down here a little further. Here's another one. And this is a spittoon form piece and very deeply carved. And it's carved on an angle so the glaze pools in the carved areas, and that gives it a darker look. And they're all celadon glaze, and very rich celadon glaze on these pieces. And here's a close-up of that fire gilded band. And I'll show you one more here. And this is absolutely exquisite. Same thing. It's very deeply carved. Let's go through this. So you can see close-ups of these pieces. And there's a close-up of the fire gilded band. Now I'm going to show you the last piece here. I'm going to show you the Yaozhou piece. This is a very large Mei-ping vase, but it doesn't have the fire gilded bands. It's really a beautiful piece, and this doesn't have the bands. And this is how most of the Yaozhou pieces are carved in this manner. It's not as deeply carved. It's a little bit less, it's not as deep as the other pieces. And this is a very large piece. This is almost 15 inches, and that's large for these types of wares. And that's the last one I'm going to show you on these. Now I'm going to move down here to the Cizhou wares, and like this particular piece, this is a very fine piece. It's really a magnificent piece. Example of the Northern Song Dynasty Cizhou wares. You can see on the base here, they had either they were like a gray biscuit or a buff colored biscuit on the Cizhou wares. Move down to this piece. This is another very interesting piece because it's an early uh, it's probably a 12th century piece, but they have on this five-clawed dragon, and the Cizhou wares, um, they kind of create a lot of different styles and stuff like that. But the five-clawed dragon, I think this may be one of the earliest ones that they, appeared in China with the phoenix. You can see the base here. Here's another piece here. Beautifully done. Very beautifully done. And this is not quite as large as that first one I showed. The first one I showed you is 22.5 inches. This is not as large as that. And you can see the base here. This is 14.5 inches. Down here. Here's another one that's 22.5 inches. And this is a leopard. And they're very rare. There's not many examples of these wares with a leopard. You can see the base here, and you can see they all have a rough areas on where they were fired because they were fired for a long time. It was such a large uh, piece, and that's the way it was. But all the Cizhou wares, you can really see, it's not perfectly done on the base for the most part. And here's another piece that's a reverse painted. This is another magnificent piece. This pear-shaped vase. I think this was a little done on, possibly in Yuan period or late Song. And you can see the gray, it's a gray biscuit on this one. Let me just show you one more here. This has a like a tan biscuit. it's also marked on the bottom. And this was apparently some type of presentation. I believe these are books, and they presented the students would receive these that were part of the court after they finished their studies. So that's what I wanted to show you with the Cizhou and the Yaozhou wares. Um, you can come to the website and you can basically check these out close. And if you see something you like, you contact me. And these pieces here, though, with this botryoid malachite, that's like there's nothing better to authenticate a piece. I mean, that tells what it is. That tells it's been a long time. It proves it's authentic for the period. And I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and good luck collecting.